Hey, how's it going, Mr. Olson, Mr. Murdoch, and Principal Levitt? It's good to see you guys again. This is Basil over here from Student-Led STEM Tutoring. With me, I have my friend Briggs Miller. He's our secretary.
Nice to meet you guys.
And we just wanted to make you guys a quick video to give you guys a more detailed look on exactly what we're going to do. And we're going to jump into that right here. Briggs, can you see my screen?
I cannot currently. There you perfect.
Great. And so we wanted to kind of do this video format because not only is this a really good way to digest kind of a lot of information when it's in detail, that way you guys can, watch it at your own pace and take notes as needed and then reach out to us with questions. But this is also how we're going to be doing a lot of our tutoring is through Zoom. And this is also how we've done a lot of our teaching up at the university is through video lectures. So we're doing kind of the same thing. So as you guys know, we're student-led STEM tutoring, registered student group at the University of Utah. And we want to talk about a few things that we've done since the last meeting that I think you guys will all be pretty impressed with. So one is we created that website that we talked about creating. That way everyone can get access to the Zoom links, etc. And it's pretty much almost entirely ready for operation. Is that right, Briggs?
Yep, everything's ready except for one thing, but that's a small fix once we get our schedule worked out.
Yep, and so we'll talk about that in a little bit, even show you guys the website when we get there. Next is we have our online permission slip drafted. I think this is an easy way to make sure that everyone's on the same page before tutoring occurs. It is very interactive and easy to follow. It is easy for students to access and it's easy for us to log. And then the last thing is we have a schedule drafted and ready to go. But obviously we want to talk to you guys about when we should actually have those times, but we have times that work for us already if you guys were to sign off on that today or in the future.
All right, I will take a second to talk about the website. So the website I think is very nice. It sums things up very easily. It's nice and clean. And I think it's really easy for students to digest. It's not super overwhelming. The important thing is that it lists everything the student needs. We got a basic summary homepage. I'll let Basil pull that up real quick. We can just go through it. So our introduction page is nice and simple. It just gives a little explanation of what we are, what our name is. And at the bottom, we also have our contact information in case students want to contact us and a link to our schedule, which is also found at the top. The next tab is our tutors tab. This is also important because we want students to not only get a little bit about ourselves, but also get a link to our different Zooms. That's the other thing I was talking about earlier that isn't ready. It's our Zoom links because we still need to finalize our schedules in order to make those links. But that's where there's one location on the site where you can actually find those. So you just have a little bio, you have a little introduction to what we teach and what we're most comfortable teaching. So if a student has a question in biology, they can find the tutor that is most adept at teaching biology or tutoring for that, and then they can find that tutor and find a time that works for them. All right, next we have the permission form. I'll let Basil talk about that.
Pull that up here. So like I mentioned earlier, it's easy to access. It's right here on the web page. It's just on the third tab. We would just click on this link and you can actually see the permission form right here, which is actually a Google poll, which I think is the easiest way for students to access and the easiest way for us to document it. And so just a quick release here at the top, as well as a few questions that would allow a parent to enter like student name, and then their signature, date, and then additional information. We have one that's already pre-filled out. Briggs, do you want to show them that one?
Yes, so this is also how we're going to be accessing these forms. So this is just basically our Google Drive. As Basil mentioned earlier, this is actually in a Google poll. So if we open that up, you'll have the questions and responses tab. We'll just go to responses, and currently only have one response because it's we only made one to show you guys what it looks like. So student name, in this case it's me. Parent guardian signature, in this case it's Basil. And then we have the date. The date's important because we want to make sure that not only people are signing the permission form, but they're doing it before our study halls happen. So we want to make sure the date is there in case anything happens like that. And this last box I think is important, any additional information, because obviously if a student is struggling and they have some type of learning disability, or they have something going on at home that they want to let us know so we can be a little bit more touchy, at least with their learning experience, we can do that. We want to be as accommodating as possible. We want to make sure students are comfortable talking to us about their struggles. So anything we can do to help with that is something we want to do. So that's what that last box is for.
Yep. And then Briggs, can I get the screen back?
Yes, sir.
Great. And so I'm going to say a few more things about the permission slip as far as logistics to make sure everyone's on the same page. So all students have to fill out the permission slip prior to tutoring, and we're going to make sure that all tutors are verifying that a student has already filled out their slip. And then we can access it the way that Briggs said through the Google poll on the drive, especially if we need to see any specifics like accommodations, for example. But we're also going to keep a list of names on an Excel sheet. That way every tutor can verify that a student has filled out the form prior in a quicker manner. And then obviously if they haven't, it would be really easy to just either refer to them to the website, or we could send them that link directly, or even their parents directly. So their parents could, even if they're not with them, do it on a smartphone from work, just to make access a little bit wider. All right, and then moving forward, some things that we would want to iron out that we could all think about, as well as some stuff that we could add based on whatever questions you ask after referencing this video, is the schedule. So another nice thing that Briggs put together on our schedule, or on our website, is the schedule. And so let me pull that up right now as an example. So next to permission form, we have this tab that is our calendar. So one thing that I like that Briggs did while making this website especially is he created a lot of ways to access links. For example, on our homepage, there's a link. Every tutor has a link by their name. And then on this schedule, there's also a link, and I'll show you a little bit about that. But now, as students go on the website, they can see exactly who they're going to meet with and at what time throughout the schedule. So for example, if I wanted to go into Ben's study hall right here, I would click on his highlighted name, and then I would click on, which is empty right now until we create the Zoom link right here, and I would be able to access that Zoom for some tutoring. Anything that you wanted to add to that about the calendar breaks?
Nothing specifically to add, but questions, obviously, since you guys are watching this video, if you guys have any input, maybe some more information you'd like us to add to the calendar, yeah, any input is obviously would be welcome from you guys, because you guys obviously know what's like to see a little bit more than we do. So any input would be great.
Yep. And so right now we have the times tailored to, and let me just change the view, tailored to 2:45 to 4 p.m. That was kind of just designed to be right after school, so that way students can finish their class and then hop right into tutoring. If they need to go into the library, computer lab, you know, they would still have time right after school. Next, we talked about some stuff on one-on-one instruction in our last meeting. Briggs, did you want to touch up on some of that stuff?
Yeah, so this is important because I think a lot of students might be worried coming in, and you guys might be worried sending your students to a bunch of college people you can't monitor. So we're going to be implementing this policy to make sure students are comfortable as well as you guys. Essentially, what we're going to be doing is whenever a tutor and a student are one-on-one in instruction, is we're going to be mandating recording of those videos. The videos won't be used for anything else besides storage in case something does happen, or if there's a claim from the student or a tutor about something happening. We'll have it documented and stored within our box. And so if something were to happen, inappropriate comments, anything like that, we can access the video, pull it up and watch and see exactly what happened. So that's one way we're gonna try and deter any negative things happening with this club, because we obviously want this to be very positive for both you guys and the students. And so we're gonna take as many measures as possible to ensure that it's a safe environment and students are comfortable with what's going on with the instruction.
Yep. And then just to add to that too, with storage, we will be having a joint box folder that will have enough storage that we can keep all the videos kind of on a semester basis. So we'll have access to pretty much every video from the semester before we start deleting anything. And then anything else you wanted to add to one-on-one instruction, Briggs, or should we move on?
Well, again, just more input. If you guys think this is a good idea, would you guys like us to record all instruction in case we have multiple students? Again, any comments you guys have, we obviously want to defer to you because you guys know students better than us.
Yep. For right now, our plan is to record any student instructor one-on-one instruction, unless you you guys had other preferences, we can be accommodating for that. And then last but not least, this actually may be the most important thing that we talk about is communication with the STEM faculty. So the way we kind of see the design of our student group is that we are all former teaching assistants here at the university, and even current teaching assistants, and love what we do. So we assist a professor in teaching a course, and we kind of want to be like teaching assistants for your STEM teachers here at Hillcrest. So that means we'd want to be able to help them out with any specific things that they see fit within their classroom, right? So for example, up at the university, if after students finish an exam, test corrections are very common, and professors will be like, hey, uh, do these as best you can, do them with a TA, get them checked off by a TA, and then turn them in. Because obviously, if you didn't know that the answers for the exam, you're not going to know them after the exam for the test corrections. So that's where we would probably come in, and teachers at Hillcrest can be in contact with us, say, hey, I just finished an exam. They're going to be coming off for test corrections. Will you sign off every one of their test corrections? Just as an example. Or if there's a tougher unit with a long, big review packet, they can refer any student to us, give us the packet beforehand, and we know this is exactly what we're dealing with. So in order to do this, we've designed a position within our student group, which is the outreach coordinator. And that is our friend Peyton. He's a very nice guy, which is why he's in the role. And we want him to be in contact with pretty much most of your STEM faculty. If we can get a collection of all the STEM faculty, just to send out a quick introductory email from us, then we can try to make a bridge between us and them and offer kind of us as resources throughout this next semester. So it would pretty much be, Peyton as well as I and the rest of the guys trying to keep in contact with that STEM faculty to try to do whatever kind of needs that they may have throughout the semester. And then Briggs, did you want to touch up on like how we're going to try to introduce things to STEM faculty probably?
Sure. So one of the ways we were thinking of introducing ourselves to both STEM teachers and the students in these courses is to make another video similar to this, but more detailing how we would actually go about our business. So we'd show a mock question, for example, Basil could ask me, and I explain how we actually do that. So the students not only are more comfortable with how we do it, but they're not surprised when they actually come in and they're nervous to talk to us. So we want to make sure that we can pass those around to teachers so they can both understand what we do, and to students so they can come in and not be worried about what we do. And one thing I want to emphasize is I think this is really good for students because I grew up in a small town that didn't have a lot of resources, and I was interested in STEM. And I know that there are many students in the same boat as I. And you guys, I don't know how your school district works specifically, but there's always some student that's eager for a little bit more knowledge or a little bit more help. And that's what we're here to offer, especially students in AP or IB programs that have a little bit more tough curriculum and aren't specifically ready or can't ask tutors normally. That's what we're here for. I think this is probably one of the better resources I can think of, at least for students to have difficult STEM questions and to bring it with people who actually have experience teaching that. I think that's something that's invaluable. And again, I want to emphasize what Basil said. If you guys have questions, please email us. And if we can get communication with all the STEM teachers, that'd be amazing, because it allow us to send this video to them. We could also ask them questions directly, ensure they're on the same page. And if they do have these requests like credit recovery or to test corrections, we can do that and meet on a more one-on-one basis. I will be personally managing emails, so you can always contact our club email, and I can take care of that.
Yep. And just to add to that, I love what Briggs said, and I love that we're able to start this here at Hillcrest, my old high school. That was so good to me. But we're 5 students here at the University of Utah that not only are in STEM, we're not just 5 random STEM majors, but we love teaching, and we love to be able to help students kind of get their foundation, as well as get kind of motivation from doing well in school, And so we want to be that resource for high school students and try to be as accessible for them as possible. And, we're toward the end of this video, so I really hope that you guys reach out with any comments and concerns to let us know how we can do better. We work really hard on what we have so far, and we're willing to kind of put that same effort forward throughout the semester. So really want to thank you guys for your time, and just encourage you guys to reach out and let us know, what's going to work and what we can do better.